Shout out to J&J.
So I just want to send a shout out to J&J Sports for having me once again.
This is, episodes, man. You guys got a real good thing going on.
So we've got Dallas Cowboys superstar receiver Ceedee Lamb, and his finger wipe celebration is now banned by the NFL. So it's been outlawed, and he does. It's like a nose wipe, so it's almost kind of like this.
And, like a slime,
And that also is considered to be a gang sign, is what the NFL is saying. So that they've released a statement on it. Do you think that Lamb is the reason for the rule change?
No, absolutely not. Excuse me. This has everything to do with. I don't know if you guys know Young Thug. He kind of originated that whole signature, so he got into some trouble, got out, and now they're making, they're making it a big deal. But I mean, they just soft. They making everything, it's soft. Like, let them celebrate. You know what I mean? Let them do it. As long as it's not nothing disrespectful or no serious. Let them do, dance, whatever their little thing. You know what I mean? So they just overreacting.
Yeah, it's in regard to Rule 12, Section 3, Article 1D, and it's any player using the gesture will be charged with unsportsmanlike conduct penalty with a loss of 15 yards. And do you think they're also going to add fines to these penalties?
Yeah. And you're going to have those players that probably don't even care about all that. They're still going to do what they want. Like, you know what I mean? If you score a touchdown, you're not thinking about what the refs are talking about. You're going to do your thing. So, yeah.
Of course. And, another statement from the league, any violent gesture, which shall include but not limited to throat slash, simulating firing or brandishing a gun or using the nose wipe, or an act that is sexually suggestive or offensive. So do you think the celebration should be outlawed?
Yeah. I think they should definitely try to get it appealed because it's not, they're not doing anything gang affiliated. It's just a gesture, like wipe your nose, this and that, but,
It also almost looks like the first down gesture because he does something kind of like this,
right.
And it's like, okay, yeah, he got the first down.
Exactly. So, they don't have nothing to do with the whole rapper situation. That's a whole different situation. Why would you add that on into the NFL? That has nothing to do with them.
And this kind of has me wondering because Brandon Cooks, he's been on multiple teams. He was on the Saints, he was on the Texans, Patriots, the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. And he does like a bow and arrow thing. So, but it says here brandishing a gun. So I guess there's like a difference between like a bow and arrow and like a firearm.
I mean, they're both weapons. Why does it matter? I mean, they're not. That's just their way of like, okay, at the team, like we got you guys. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I'm gonna kill you. Let me, it's none of that. They're overreacting.
And this also kind of has me wondering about Lamb's reaction, and he posted to X this last Wednesday, shaking my head, I have plenty in mind. Speaking of new celebrations, I think this could lead to us getting some creative legal celebrations. Do you think he's going to have some good ones ready?
Yeah, definitely. They definitely got to stand up about this, man, because the more you let the NFL just soften things up, people are not going to watch the games anymore. They already changing the tackles, but the funny thing about it, James, they keep the same reps. You know what I mean? Why change the refs up too? We need some, younger, I would say, reps.
Yeah, and Athlon Sports mentioned the same thing that you had mentioned of the Young Thug connection.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of wondering because Young Thug had recently faced gang charges in court. Uh-huh. Do you think that could be a reason? That is the reason?
Yeah, no, that is the reason. That's the definite reason. Him been in trial for years, coming out the situation, and he's on a long probation sentence. But that has nothing to do with, like I said, nothing to do with them. You know what I mean? Because they were doing that way before his court situation. So why is it such a big deal now?
I agree. Yeah. Y'all, please let us know in the comments what you think about the whole Ceedee Lamb celebration.
Yeah.
Should the NFL let him keep doing it? And what are the creative celebrations y'all think we're going to see?
Right. We're going to see some more for sure. So, yeah.
And then Cowboys continued. So, there's a lot of talk about defensive end for the Cowboys, Micah Parsons' contract.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to start this off with a question.
Yeah.
Do you think Micah Parsons is worth $200 million?
Currently in his career, he's been in a minute for a minute. I say, I give him that, because you want to end with a bang. You know what I mean? You want to end with a max contract, a bang of your career. So yeah.
Yeah, this is the going price for him. You know, he's been very vocal about it. I think he wants something close to 5 years, and he's definitely worth it if he continues.
5 years, $200 million. That's good. I will give him that.
How important is it that Dallas gets this contract done?
Very important. You don't want to be cheap. You know what I mean? If he could end with you guys and give the best he can and help y'all get to a ring, I'll give it to him.
I agree. And, you know, Parsons recently had a very public feud with his teammate turned Seahawk, DeMarcus Lawrence.
Okay.
And
oh, right. We talked about him, yeah.
Do you think that affected the contract negotiation in any way?
That might have something to do with it, because, like I said, things did get heated. And I believe you were saying that he got into it with the coaches, too.
Oh, no, that was a different player. But
okay.
He definitely is very vocal about the team.
Okay.
You know, so.
Yeah, that could be a part. Do I think they're going to give him two? Probably not. But they can give him something close to it. If he can, like 150, 180, something like that.
Something that works for both him and Dallas.
Right.
Probably.
Right.
And this kind of has me wondering, you know, he wants to be the highest paid non-quarterback of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think any position will ever be higher paid than quarterback?
Sad to say, no. But I do think, like, more positions should start getting more money and recognition. Like I said, they just increased the value in running backs. We've seen with Saquon Barkley and Devin Haney. Defense as well, because they play a major part, especially in the Super Bowl games, James, in the playoff games. Yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, looking at defensive ends in general, they're getting wide receiver money or more than that.
Yeah.
And I think we definitely have to consider the fact that because this is a quarterback-protected league, they need the stars to be able to stop the quarterback.
Absolutely. And or they can do a thing where, like, the quarterback, since they're the highest paid, and they can start paying some of these defensive, like, you know, we appreciate you guys. You know what I mean? Here you go. Because y'all, you know, y'all the reason that we seal the game and seal it in. So
it's like Tom Brady taking pay cuts and all of that.
Yeah.
And kind of looking in general at defensive ends, do you think this is the reason to stop the quarterback is why they're becoming better all-around athletes?
Yeah. Like I said, if they do this deal, it's going to open the gate for a lot of other defensive players that's just at his level. They can get those max contracts like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, we've also noticed defensive tackles have been getting paid big money now, too.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, this is probably because teams are wanting to make sure they're going to stop the run.
Yeah.
And, you know, without Saquon Barkley's production this last season, do you think defensive tackles are getting these big deals?
No, absolutely not. I think he played a lot of, you know, in that. You know what I mean? Because you had those guys that were stopping him. But it wasn't a lot of guys stopping him. But those guys that were, it's like, man, we gotta look into more on the defensive side. We gotta kind of, you know, show more because they do a lot, James. With that Super Bowl game, with how they did Mahomes, I mean, they were all on him. You know what I mean? So all of that, like that Eagles team defense, raises, definitely.
And yeah, they didn't really have a running threat in the game either to compete with the Eagles' Saquon.
Yeah.
Do you think the running back position is ever going to be looked the same way again?
I don't think so. I think when Saquon ends his career, it's gonna be legendary. Him and Devin Haney just set the tone, man. They definitely set the tone for running backs.
I agree. I'm looking forward to this next season and seeing all the changes.
I'm super excited. You know, we got all these new add-ons, man. Shador, Travis Hunter. I can't wait to see where those guys end up. And once we see all the lineups and everything, you guys, we will go over the NFL draft and give our comments on it.
Every year, we always get the draft.
Yes, sir.
Y'all let us know what you think about that. And do you think that Micah Parsons is going to reset the market for defensive ends?
Yeah, definitely.
And then
Esports.
coming to y'all live in 2025.